Good morning, mates, and happy Friday. Here's the machine that you inquired about, the Breville Barista Express BES870. As you saw in the photos, it's a used machine, so it does have some scratches, mainly around the front here on the drip tray, a few on the back here, a tiny dent on the left, small dent on the right. I mean, it's not too bad, and I've tried my best to give it a good clean in and out, so I think it looks fine. And on the inside it works like new. I've given it a full service, everything checks out, no problems at all, so it should work like new. And in this video I'm going to test the machine making a coffee. I mean, just to show you that it works and showing you how to make a good coffee on this model. So let's get to it. When you first turn on the machine, usually it'll take about a minute to turn on and warm up. Once you see the button light up, that means that boiler is at temperature, but that doesn't mean the entire machine is at temperature, up to temperature. So you want to warm those up. So you've got your drip head, you've got your portafilter, you've got your cup. You want these to be nice and warm before you make this shot. Otherwise, this shot will be cold. So you can warm up the machine in a few ways, or in a couple of ways actually. First one is just passively letting the machine stay on like this for 20 minutes. That's gonna warm things up. So especially the portafilter, because it's connected to the machine directly, it'll be nice and warm. And if you put your cups on top, after 20 minutes, they'll get nice and warm as well, at least around the top half. So that's one way. The other way is to run a blank shot, which is my preferred method actually. So a blank shot is essentially just a shot of hot water, no coffee in the handle, just to rinse things up or to warm things up. It's good to do. You can do that once or twice. It'll bring things up to temperature quite quickly. So if you're in a hurry and you can't wait 20 minutes, this is what you do. And this step also sort of cleanses the machine. So if there's any coffee grounds or coffee oils stuck in the basket or in the drip head, this is going to clean those up right away. Perfect. I'll keep this on the side. I'll dry the portafilter. I'll grab a tissue actually. So you want the portafilter to be dry before you grind the coffee into it. The machine comes with a couple of things, as you would expect, the basics things. So obviously the portafilter and the basket. You've got the tamper, and you've also got the razor tool. So you can use this to sort of scrape off the excess coffee. But if you set up the machine correctly from the beginning, you won't need to do that step. Sorry, let me just lock my cat away. She's being annoying. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So this basket will take about 17 grams of coffee, so I'm going to use my scale to confirm that, but I made a shot just last night on this. And I'll set it up to the correct settings. So the correct settings are grind size number 5, grind amount at 11 o'clock, and the grind filter size at single. And if you do that twice, you'll get a nice double shot. A reason why I put it on single rather than double is because when you put it on single, you have the opportunity to check if it's correct, if it's on the right path, and also to press it down so that you're not creating a mess by piling that coffee on the basket. Okay, so this is 8.2 grams, that's okay. I'm going to press it down, and grind another. Should be close to 16, 17 grams. Yeah, that's 17, so 16.8, that's fine. I'm going to spread the coffee around with my finger. before pressing it, you want to spread it out, because if you press on an uneven surface, it'll create uneven pressures or densities in the coffee. So let's say if all the coffee is in the middle, is bunched up in the middle, and you press that, you'll have a very high density in the middle of the coffee, and around it'll be very loose, so the water will just go around and not extract the center. So you want to try your best to make it even. And then just press it nice and firm, make sure it's level, make sure it's not, wonky to one side or the other. And twist it and remove. This is what we have. Just double checking. Looks good. You've got the silver part on the tamper sort of as a guide as to how deep your tamper should be after you tamp. So if I've got too much coffee and I press it down and it doesn't hide that silver part, then that tells me that I've got too much coffee. And on the other hand, if it goes very, very deep into the handle, then that's too little coffee. In this case, I've got exactly just about 17 grams. The silver part just about disappears, so it's about the same depth. Put that back, clean the edges, and lock it in. So you only have to lock it in the middle. This has a brand new group head rubber seal, silicone seal, so you don't have to force it all the way to the right. Maybe in a few years you will have to, but for now, this is more than good enough in the middle. Alrighty, you also have a hot water tub. So if you're making a long black coffee, you add the hot water first. I like to add a little bit of hot water so that my sugar dissolves nicely in the espresso shot. Grab the sugar. The buttons here are programmable, so you can change them to whatever length you prefer. You can also reset them to factory settings, very easy. So if you hold the program button, the machine will beep at you, and that means the buttons are reset to factory settings. You can also change the temperature. Let me just see if I've done that. So yeah, if you press program and then power, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 being the middle. If you want your coffee to be a bit hotter, you go to this button. If you want it to be a bit colder, you go to this button. And the program is the middle button actually. So I'll leave it there. Yeah, so I've already adjusted the double button to give me 40 grams of coffee. So we'll put that to the test. From factory, from the default settings, I think the double is a bit too long. It gave me 60 grams. Usually when I do this on every Barista Express, it's about 60 grams that comes out for the double shot, which is a bit too much. I say that because an espresso shot is usually a 2-to-1 ratio. So we put in 17 grams, we want to double that, so we want to get around 35 grams. 60 grams is way too much, and it's like a 3-to-1, maybe a 4-to-1 ratio. So yeah, we don't want it to be too long, otherwise the shot will taste burnt and bitter. Burnt and maybe sour actually. So we want it to be the right length. So if it's between 35 and 40, I'm happy. Even 30 to 40, I'm happy. I'm gonna prepare my milk in the meantime. Pressure is nice and steady at 11 o'clock, about 12 o'clock, which is good for espresso. Ideally you want to time this, but if you're not too fussy, you don't have to time it. It should be about 20 to 30 seconds, that's the rule. This looks like about 20 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to rewatch the video. But yeah, we got 32 grams. I'm happy with that. 32 grams of espresso. This is what 32 grams looks like on this cup. On a shot glass, it's about half of a shot glass, depending on the shot glass that you have. But yeah, that's the espresso shot. Good amount of crema. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna if I'm having a long black, I'll just add hot water, but now I'm going to make a latte, so I'll have to steam some milk. Hopefully this won't take too long. You don't want your shot to be sitting out too long. So have the milk prepared beforehand, but because I was a bit rushed this morning, I couldn't. Yeah, so have the milk prepared, have everything ready, and then start making your shot. So that you minimize the time between your milk pouring and your shot brewing. To steam, very easy, just turn on the steamer and the machine will heat up. In the meantime, you can clean the basket. So in that 10 seconds. Once you see steam output, turn it off. Position the jug at an angle, close to the edge and close to the surface of the milk. Turn it back on. Try to keep the milk spinning. The closer you are to the surface and the longer you are at that position, the more air that will be injected into the milk and the more bubbly it will become. So if you're aiming for a cappuccino, you want to keep it hissing, so that hissing noise means practically aerating the milk and injecting that micro foam. If you want it to be more flat, you want to dunk the one deeper sooner, like a flat white or a latte. I want a moderate amount of foam, so I'll keep it. And then when it's too hot to the touch, you want to turn it off. And then give it a purge once it's done. So I'm just knocking the jug on the countertop just to break any big air bubbles. To clean the machine, obviously, so give it a purge just to get rid of any milk on the inside. Grab a wet towel and wipe the wand straight away. Obviously the metal gets really hot, so the milk will practically bake on the metal if you don't clean it up right away. It'll be really hard to remove later on. And you want to rinse the basket, you want to rinse the portafilter and the shower screen. So very easy, just like before, press the double or the single and let it rinse now. That's going to clean the basket and the shower screen. And every now and then, grab a tissue, wipe this basket and wipe the shower screen. There's always a bit of, as you see, coffee grounds and oils stuck up there even after rinsing. So get a brush or some sort of cloth dedicated for this job. Yeah, that's how to make a coffee on the Breville Barista Express. Let me show you the final result. Nothing too fancy. I'm not a barista, but I'm pretty sure a skilled barista can do a latte art on this machine. I've seen it happen. With some practice, I'm sure you can do latte art as well. But for me, I just do whatever tastes good. Don't usually get latte art done, but when I do, I'm happy with myself. That's my cat waiting for some milk. So yeah, to swirl it around and knock it on the counter just to break any air bubbles. Looks like I've got a few just because my technique wasn't perfect. But anyway, regardless. Looks like we've got more of a cappuccino because we aerated the milk for a bit too long. We've got a few bubbles, but that's okay. Looks like it's going to taste good anyway. Here's the final result. Like I said, nothing too fancy, but it's a latte nonetheless. Ideally, you want to get fewer bubbles and a smoother milk texture. Yeah, hopefully you can practice and get much better drinks than me. That's the Breville Barista Express. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you this weekend. Thanks again.